Well, I'll let you tell him that, because he's been setting up the ball absolutely perfectly for Putawan. Even there, where he can't keep it alive.
That was off their own serve, I think, where saved it, showing good skill with the foot.
Because obviously he was busy in mid-air trying to block the ball.
A question for you, which one is the bigger rivalry, you would say? Was it Thailand versus Vietnam or Thailand versus Myanmar?
Because Vietnam have been a lot better than Malaysia have been for the past 20 years or so in the mid in there as well. Thailand have got a huge club scene every year, but the real rivalries, Thailand, Malaysia.
Presented a challenge for the line. They believe it was in.
There, and getting a victory against Thailand, but it wasn't to be.
Just a reminder for our viewers, while the referees deliberate over a replay, we aren't allowed to show the replay because the referees have to have a look at it. It's only after the decision is made can we show you the replay on broadcast.
Excellent. Here we go. Plum on the line.
For sport, line belongs to the umpire or the referee.
Can Myanmar use this as the spark? Is he there? You need to pound. You just gained 2 points almost. It was one that was lost, and they couldn't quite do that.
Again, as you said, it is sometimes seemingly impossible to beat Thailand. They may drop the...
In the final at the King's Cup, held every year in Thailand. They won it in 22, 23, 2024. The World Cup in Kuala Lumpur, it was Thailand who won. This time it was Vietnam defeating them just a day ago on day 2 of this 2025 World Cup. Shin Wunazao coming on. Need to try something. 10-5 down.
Phenomenal against Thailand in the group game and repeated that form against India in the semi-finals as well.
Wunazao and Min Kant are two similar players. They're the attackers, so you can't really play with two attackers. You need one attacker and one defender, one person who can set it up for the spiker at the net.
When you're drafting your doubles unit, you've got to put in 3 names. So generally, you would put in 2 attackers and 1 defensive set out there in the middle, isn't it?
That's right, yes. So Rachan Vipan, unless he's injured, he's not coming off. Tawisak Tongsai would come on, and it would be for Putawan. At a push, if there is an injury, then they could play with the 2 attackers. And Tawisak, for example, you see players in unaccustomed duties. Any way we can steal a point here, we've got to go for it. But it didn't work. 13-7.
It may go Thailand's way. It's looking like it's going there, but I've also in a similar position after the first set, and they just fought back, roared back to life in the next 2.
They're going to have to start roaring sooner rather than later. It's Thailand.
That's number 7 out. Was that a guest appearance?
Substitutions, and clearly this is to give them the option to go back to their original starting lineup at the start of make a substitution in between sets. It counts as being at the start of that set. But we're at the end of the first set.
Paktakra World Cup 2025. A gold medal. Thus, there's more pressure on Myanmar as they begin the second set.
Second set, start now. Oh!
Just a little bit of added pressure on Myanmar. They've got to serve. So, if this is a save set spike, which you would expect it to be when Rachan and Putawan are there, then that means that right from the off, scoreboard. They're going to be chasing the game all the way through unless they can make inroads and start. Look at the imposing figure that he strikes at the net. So imposing that he almost put off Rachan.
There was a spike earlier in this rally, but it was a little bit deeper inside the court. One had to cover some distance, and ultimately Myanmar get that point.
It's a point on their own service. This point, they need to save the service, set it, spike it, and get themselves a 2-point cushion. And Thailand just won't let them. Myanmar, I think they fluffed their plan. Min Kant trying to cushion the ball came over and then just nodding it back and giving Thailand the initiative. Winning a point on a long rally on their own service, and then they just give it up by making a simple mistake.
Out. Point Thailand.
A little bit expressive there, Putawan after that point. Walks up to the net, waves towards the Myanmar side.
3-2.
The referee. But yes, earlier in the day we tried our hand a little bit with that. I must tell our viewers, it's made of plastic. It can be a little bit hard when it comes at you. For this, and what are the specifications? They've got to be more flat-footed.
Yeah, they tend to buy them in Thailand. It's the only place that really manufactures them in bulk around the world in outposts, as we've got here at this World Cup. Brazil, the ones in Europe, down in Australia, and whenever anyone holiday, then they take orders for the rest of the takraw community in their country. What's your size? How many pairs of shoes do you want? They're very flat. They have to be very smooth on top as well. They've got to want the ball cannoning off at an awkward angle. And you can see very flat, because you want a flat sole. You don't want a ridge sole because you're using the sole of your shoe quite often. Back in this match, probably due to the fact that they met in the group stages. And Thailand looking for revenge.
And so far they seem to be on.
That was nicely done. Very nicely done indeed. A right-footed over his right shoulder. Early in the set, but at the very least they're keeping pace here. They'd love a point on their own service though. Two blocks and a spike, and they've got a point on their own service. They were made to win that point.
Some of the great skills that we are watching.
Thailand, how do you do it every time on your opponent's service, and then you just go and steal it right back? That was one made him play at it every time they do it, Thailand. The level's really stepping up here. Tape service from Myanmar, from Yo Kiao.
Where he saved some of the spikes as well. Another tape service, this time by Rachan. And Thailand get that point. They move forward, it's a 2-point lead now.
Bit of a flex from Putawan, you can tell he's the youngster. 8-6, so it was 6-5 and then all of a sudden 3 points in a row. Make that 4.
Point Myanmar.
In this game, remember that they had
Time
lost
out
to
to
Myanmar, who had come on, and now there's a timeout by Myanmar.
Thing of the referee.
The serves alternate between the two players in the doubles event. So sometimes if there have been substitutions or changes, there haven't been so many, but it can be a little difficult to keep track of it, right?
Point Thailand.
And Thailand marching forward. It's 11-8. That timeout doesn't seem to have arrested that momentum. At the back of their mind.
Point Thailand.
Thailand doing Thailand things. Doubles as Kritsanapong Subsec. We'll probably see them quadrants a little bit later on. Thailand putting in incredible, stealing the initiative.
Right. Point Myanmar.
That's very well done by Myanmar over there, getting the block in. This is what he did very effectively during the group stage
Ready.
against Thailand.
Point Myanmar. Right. Point Thailand.
Landed in that spike.
Serve.
Point Myanmar.
Kritsanapong telling everybody who the #1 nation is when it comes to takraw.
11-30. Point Thailand.
Championship point for Thailand. And
There's 3 of them.
Game point. Point Myanmar.
Stay of execution. Having to serve to keep his team in the tournament. And he's done just that. Comes out with a tape service, and I'm pretty sure Thailand are going to challenge. Nothing they could possibly challenge here. That was a brilliant service on the tape. Now, all of a sudden, this gets interesting. It's 13-14. It's still match point. But Myanmar spike and take it to 14 all. And that's precisely what they do.
we are now setting up for a 17-pointer, and suddenly the smile has just gone because he...
So the only disadvantage for Myanmar is that they're serving first and you're expected to concede on service. So they'll 15 all and at 16 all, and if we get to 16 all, then it's a deciding point. And Thailand are always going to have their noses in front.
Championship point coming up against Malaysia.
15 all. Myanmar taking care of business.
Their encounter from the group stages, because back then it was Myanmar who fought back, roared
Them. What a block! What a block by Min Kant, and all of a sudden it's set point for Myanmar, and they are going to be...
had picked up the gold medal out of the tray. But just before they could put it on, well, that challenge may have been more tactical more than anything.
So set point, can they save set spike and take it to a decider?
We are going into when they were up 14-11, but Myanmar, what a comeback once again. It's Thailand 1, Myanmar 1, 15. Rachan Vipan gets ready, and we are underway.
Fine Myanmar.
So talking about the fine margins that you have between these two teams at the top, and the fact that you tend to win points when you're receiving service, Thailand service, then they're always going to have their noses in front, and if it gets to 14 all, they will have the advantage of receiving first when it gets to that best of 5.
A question points back in the second set. How difficult is it to psychologically bounce back from that? Because the back of your mind to do now.
Well, they'll have had 2 minutes at the end of that set, and they will have been told in no uncertain terms by coach Supnalawek that they need to put it out of their minds.
Fine Thailand.
A lot of character in those tough moments, critical moments. They've held their nerve, and as you said, they don't show as much emotion like some of the other teams.
3-2. Out. Fine Thailand.
Service fired long back. Not the best of sets, but Min Kant made it to ground there. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and then a beautiful sunback spike, right foot over the right shoulder.
Fine Thailand.
Teams eyeing that gold medal. We are into the finals of the men's doubles. Everything at stake for Myanmar and Thailand.
Fine Myanmar.
See.
Fine Thailand.
Short sets and best of 3, so not over. And then back in the day there were times when it was best of 5 and it was first of 21, so that could be very lengthy.
Fine Myanmar.
Any reason it was made shorter?
Fine Thailand.
There's not much to choose yet again between these two teams. The serves, and we've got to wait for that moment when one of the teams.
Fine Myanmar.
Definitely done. Little tap over the top to go back to your point on the fact that you've got things now like the quadrant, so 4 aside and then mixed quadrant, constantly evolving and constantly trying to work out the best way of playing this sport, because it's played all around Southeast Asia and it's spreading all around the world, and everyone's got different rules. They played with different balls 500, 1,000 years ago. So trying to unify that way of playing this sport.
Point Myanmar.
Got to 8 points. Myanmar have got that 8th point, which means they will switch sides. This is what happens in the third set. And just as a reminder for all our viewers, earlier in the
They've stolen a point. Slapped over the net with the sole of the shoe. Is challenging. Oh, he's challenging the service. Right.
and women's team played a match against India yesterday. It was the doubles semi-final.
Myanmar serve. Thailand. Catch, lift, kick.
Wow. Is this going to go the way of Toppy about this? No, it looks as if, well, who knows? It seems to go one way then the other. You'll see the Myanmar coach. The foot wasn't over when serving. So the non-striking foot wasn't over the baseline. The planted foot, it doesn't have to be planted because you can move around in doubles and quadrant. So the non-strike didn't touch the line. 9-7, can they make it 10-7? No, they can't. Thailand come roaring back. So now all of a sudden it's a first to 6 best of 11 shootout. Myanmar have still got the slight advantage. They're receiving. All they have to do when they're receiving service.
Use the soul of Min Kant again. He's had a good tournament. Now he's got to just... That was actually a good serve. But Putowan gets that point for Thailand. It's 10-all. Wasn't a bad service actually to start. It was quite good.
They've stolen it. A couple of points in a row on their own service. A great service it was by Rachan. And it was incredibly difficult for Myo Kiao to scamper all the way back. There's a challenge at the net.
Then sports.
No challenge allowed because they've already lost their challenge, Myanmar. They've had an unsuccessful one. And yet, that was successful, winning a point on service. Excellent service. He does struggle when it goes out wide to his right foot, if there's a little bit of spin on it. And it's not the more comfortable position for him, as you were. It's a 4-point shootout now. Oh, an ace down the middle.
What a time to deliver that serve. And the Thai players, including Thavisak on the bench, know the importance of that one. You cannot... And watch this game.
3 points in a row, one on service. Can they make it 4? Yes, they can. How about that challenge on the service?
Point to Thailand.
It's a challenge after challenge after challenge.
Sure. It looks like it's been overturned immediately. And if the service was going to be called a foot fault, it needed...
Championship point now for Thailand. Once again, 14-11 championship points.
A think they deflated Myanmar. That was an incredible block. Kritsana points, 2 of them on reception of service.
Well, Myanmar still holding on. Remember, in the second set, they bounced back when they were down 14-11. Thailand to serve. It's photo 1. 14-13. This is a... Thailand are the champions. We say that time and again at ISTAF events. But this victory will be cherished by Thailand. Sweet, one to remember, because they have been made to work hard. They were made to sweat. Malaysia challenged them in the semi.
First, second.
Thailand take this thrilling final 2-1 against a spirited and fighting Myanmar unit. 15-9, 15...